Dun 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 dun. Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while since we've done one of these. Yeah, it's been a long while. I don't know which way. Look here. So, yeah, hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Hopefully, oh, actually, I gotta switch this. Hold on. You might hear a loud pop. Hear a loud pop? No? Beauty. Beauty. All right. Yeah, so it's reveals time. I keep looking up there. It's reveals time. And it is time to have a look at some Warhammer 40,000, some Warhammer Age of Sigmar, some Warhammer the Old World, and some Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team previews today at Adepticon. It is the 26th of March of the year 2025. Not at Adepticon this year, as just wasn't in the cards. And actually, I kind of forgot about it, actually. I had all these other things on the go, and yeah, I didn't account for, getting into some Adepticon, but that's okay, because I also missed LVO, because I was planning on attending LVO this year. I just want to check it out, right? And so the next one is what? The big one is Gen Con, and then Nova here in North America, I believe. And yeah, I'm really looking forward. Also, too, it is kind of funny with the way, I mean, I don't want to get into the whole thing, but, heading over into the States from Canada is kind of an affair these days. If you don't really pay attention to a lot of what's going on in the world and in North American politics. Yeah, it's, it's a thing right now. There's a thing going on. Ebb and flow. So what? Prep the mother loving lube. Prep the mother loving lube. Good God, man. What? Good God. Sorry, I gotta chuck my tea bag. Chucking my tea bag. Anyway, yeah. And it's kind of distracting how this thing moves around a bit. I've switched up kind of how I normally do things here. The cameras follow me around. We also can have some fun tonight. We can have some fun. We can have a little bit of fun here, people. We got time. We got time to fool around. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. So, like, for example, if I really, really like something, or if I really like something, if I don't really like it, and then if we want to celebrate, yay! Or if they don't, and if they don't show any Eldar in this preview, what's this one? Confetti, yay! This one's good too. I don't know. Fucking beat me up, Scotty. I don't know what this is. And then this one here too. This one might be my favorite. And in fact, this probably should be like the one that I click as soon as I begin the stream. Just yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just like, whatever. How's my voice sounding? Is everything sounding clear? Is it everything sounding good? I don't know. I just don't know. Aussie live music. Yep, my David tabletop time is there after 24 hours of flying. So, mate, you should be there. It's not far from Canada. No, Milwaukee is not far. But I don't know as far as you Aussies are concerned. But things are a little bit tense between Americans and Canadians right now. And, and me going into the States, I just don't want my ass getting deported for no damn good reason. And there's plenty of stories going around, people who have nothing to do with whatever. I mean, like, these are dumb fucking rules anyway. And yeah, people are getting deported. So yeah, no thanks. Don't need that. Ebb and flow, bro. You've got your Eldar dirty business already. That sounds great. Okay, yeah. So the sounds good. All right. So sounds good. What time? We're almost time for the stream. Let me check. Oh, here we go. 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 Let's do one of these. That. Go. This over. There we go. Let's see. Everything all right? Everything is all right. They're running freaking ads right now. They're running freaking ads, of course. So anyway, let's turn this up a bit. It sounded really messed up, didn't it? Anyway, that's yes. Actually, I don't even know if I have this set properly. I think I do. That do it? Hopefully that does it. Can you guys kind of hear the background music? I'm going to turn the Warhammer music up a bit. Put it up to, let's put it up to 70. You guys let me know if you guys can hear the music. Aussie, it's all fluff, and I was just in Vegas at Res, and the Canadian both was well received. Vegas at Res, what's Res? I don't know what Res is. And how long ago? Like when somebody says they were just in Vegas, I mean, like, you weren't just in Vegas, right? Anyway, yeah, so yeah, I just, you know, it's a funny time to be heading across the river right now. I mean, like, I'm the kind of person who likes to go across and, you know, do some shopping and everything like that, and I haven't done it in a while, just because, you know, it's these dumb little rules are really dumb, and it hurts everybody, and I don't know why anybody would think that these are good ideas. I just don't. I don't understand, and especially anybody who's interested in, you know, business, making money. If they're actually concerned about the economy, yeah, tariffs and stuff, bad ideas. Where did they depart someone that preceded them on the continent? Yeah, exactly. No, I've already read stories of a couple people who are of Native American descent who were they were trying to get deported. They're held by ICE. But also, I mean, you know, we're strictly talking here. I mean, like, even Mexicans, like, they're North American people. They're North Americans. Like, where are you going to deport them to? They're already home for the most part. So, like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get the thinking behind some of this shit. But anyway, so again, can you guys hear the music that's playing right now? The background music? Dun 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 dun. You know? Aussie, National Center American Indian Development, Res, 10th of March. Oh, okay, cool. I'm not familiar with that one. I mean, it's all the way out in Las Vegas. And, I mean, you know, North American people aren't all, you know, like one people, right? Like, there's Dene, there's Blackfoot, your boy Cree. Music's good level? Okay. All right, that's all I wanted to know. I'm going to turn it right back down a bit until the show starts. And yeah. Ebb and flow, First Nations. Yes, the First Nations. But I mean, like, again, like, it's not like East Coast people are not the same as the West Coast people, as they're not the same in the North as they are in the South, and you know what I mean? Like, all different people. North America, just like Europe, how you have all these little countries in that small little continent of Europe. Well, North America is a bigger continent that was all divided up into a whole bunch of countries. So I know some people already know that, and I know there's some people out there who didn't know that. That's who that was for. So I've been working on stuff. What time we at? Yeah, we got time to talk hobby, and I have been working on some Shining Spears. And these are all chromed up. Focus. Focus. It's not going to focus. Give me that nice automatic focus. Anyway, they are chrome, as you can kind of see. See how nice and reflective they are? They are chrome and a blue. And the riders are going to be chrome and a matte blue. Or opaque blue. Opaque blue is going to be Craig blue. Or Caldor Sky. Sorry, it's Caldor Sky. That's the blue. Like, for example, here, like on the Exarch, see like the tail banner. So like the helmets, the banners, their star lances and stuff, those are all going to be blue. Very, very cool. Yes. Looking forward to it. Aussie, haha, 10K attended, and now IGA is the next Monday in San Diego. Music volume good, and nice job. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, still a little bit loud, but that's okay. That's all right. 3 minutes, 3 minutes and counting. T minus 3 minutes. Let's get ready for this. So I'm not at Adepticon. Obviously, anybody who's watching this is realizing that at home you can see all the usual trappings of my office, and yeah, I just kind of forgot about it, and and again, I really wasn't looking forward to making any kind of border crossings this year, just in lieu of all the silliness that's going on, and yeah. But it doesn't mean we can't enjoy us some Warhammers. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to enjoy some Warhammers. We're going to enjoy the living hell out of it. Just like raw dogging it. We're raw dogging Warhammer. Whatever the hell that means. I don't know what that means. Everybody's like, what the hell is he talking about? I don't know. Raw dogging. We're raw dogging some Warhammer. Sure. I wish I had something to illustrate the raw dog. I'm not going to throw a bunch of paintbrushes at my face. Bunch of bottles of paint? No, I'm not going to throw a bunch of bottles of paint at my face. Well, no. No. Chuck a bunch of bottles. Bust my glasses. Then that would end our evening real quick, wouldn't it? Is the way the camera moving distracting? I don't know. I can't tell if it's distracting or not, but Eb, best be some Space Wolf, dumbest name of the coolest faction, news afoot. Some Space Wolf? Yeah, I mean, been hearing a lot about Space Wolves, been hearing a lot about Salamanders. It's been a while since we've had Space Marines, so, you know, and I mean, you know, anybody who's been listening to me for any length of time knows that, you know, Space Marines are not my favorite faction, and I'm okay if we get a whole bunch of Space Marine stuff tonight. I'm okay with that. Mostly. If it's cool stuff. Space Wolf, new Space Wolf stuff? I mean, like, I'm curious. I am curious. What does new Space Wolf stuff look like? Or even new Salamanders, right? Because when you think of like Space Marines, and for the longest time, right, it was always the 4 chapters, right? Space Marines, like loyal Space Marines, it was always 4 chapters, right? Ultramarines, Blood Angels, Dark Angels, and Space Wolves. It was always those 4, right? That were the kind of default Space Marine chapters of various colors, right? And also have very distinct aesthetic, right? Blood Angels aesthetic is very distinct. Dark Angels is very distinct. Oh, here we go. We're starting up.
My name's Nick. This is Alex. We're really excited to be with you this evening. We've got so much stuff to show people, right?
Very relaxed.
Incredibly excited. We've got stuff from Warhammer 40,000, Warhammer...
let's see here.
And the Old World.
Oh, it's going to be great. That's all coming up very soon. Now, this weekend we are celebrating it, of course, as Adepticon over there in America, in Milwaukee. If you're there at the event, hello. You may have already seen some of the stuff we're about to show you already, but keep quiet for now. Great to have you here. But of course, there's folks all
put
around
me right
the
here.
world.
Let's put me right there. Put me right in the middle. Boom.
And in fact, this evening,
Right in the middle. Right in the middle of the action.
You can ask us questions. We have Ed over in Question Corner. Ed, how you doing? All right.
Oh, I'm blocking Ed now.
Glad
Shit.
to have you here, mate.
If you've got any questions, do start with question right at the beginning, and it will help me build.
Oh, there's Ed. Hey, he's got plushies. Nice.
Crucially, that is in the Twitch chat only. I know we're on YouTube as well, but if you're in
Nice.
Twitch, please put your questions in there. We'll try to get as many of those answers as we possibly can as the show goes on. Now, we have so much to show you this evening, and in fact, we're going to give you a quick glimpse right now.
Do it. Do this. Ooh, some Neugel. Canicus. Oh, this is like a preview of the preview of the preview. That's just to shut everybody up.
Very exciting.
There's lots of cool stuff there.
You've seen us. You've seen the sizzle reel. It's now time to.
Hold on, hold on,
straight into the
people.
old world.
Let's get the reactions.
Here we go.
Yeah, so the Wood Elves are the defenders of Athel Lauren. It's a highly elite force, lots of cavalry, lots of archers. You get a fantastic battalion, as well as their arcane journal, which contains all
Oh, these are
the
cool.
normal background regiments. We've got Orion in there, loads of fantastic stuff.
Yeah, absolutely elite army on the tabletop. These guys are superb at shooting you off the table. Yeah, and Alex is absolutely right. What he says there. We've also got the hero here, the Araloth Lord of Talson as well, who's coming alongside the Wood Elves.
Oh, that's cool.
This guy,
That's very
was
cool.
coward in his youth, right?
Yes, he was a cowardly youth. However, having fallen from his horse and found an elf goddess, as you do, he then regained his courage and eventually went on to slay Morga the Corruptor.
A superb Lord level hero for your Wood Elf forces. This guy carries his bird into battle. Scaran the Eye Thief there can be sent across the battlefield to peck the eyes out of your enemies, which is great fun. And of course, alongside.
I wonder for like some of these old world sculpts, are they traditional sculpts or are they like the new CAD kind of way, like the way they sculpt?
Background rules.
Because they look more like they're traditional hand sculpted. Just because of the proportions and everything like that, but I'm probably way off.
Leading his
Oh, here we go.
armies of infamy
Back.
as well as magic items, new units which you can take as well for conversion.
He looks more like he's taking a big old haul off that horn.
The beast cats are returning to the Wood Elf realm.
It's like it's a bong.
You'll be able
It's a
to
beer
build
bong.
some Deepwood hounds, forest cats, sylvan boars, and even a bear of Lauren. So you can have a bear running around the Wood Elf army. That sounds great.
Brilliant.
So there we are.
You mentioned beasts there. But Wood Elves aren't the only things that are coming
course.
to the old world. We've got the Beastmen Brighthoods returning.
Yes.
So likewise,
Oh,
we've got a fantastic
boys.
army there, stuffed full of everything you could think of that's a gore or a gorgon.
Absolutely right.
Gore.
Yeah, the Beastmen, of course, a wild force in Warhammer the Old World. Super powerful. Lots of cheap infantry running around all over the table. And monsters as well. And there's a brand new miniature coming for them as well. We've seen this one before. This is Kralmore, Prophet of Ruin. Tell me about.
I like the little minion on the rock or
Lauren might
stump.
makes right. However, if you are mystical, magical, you tend to be given a bit of an easy ride. They love that. Kralmore is a prophet. He can, see the future, which has allowed him to stay one step ahead of his enemies.
Ironically, he can see the future even though he's blindfolded.
Currently hunting him, however, has been unsuccessful.
He's a powerful level 4 wizard, and that leering spirit that he accompanies into battle can be placed on the battlefield to cast devolving magic at enemies.
Devolving magic? What's that?
Now, it's worth pointing out both the Wood Elves and the Beastmen are going to have the huge ranges accompanying them. We've just shown you a selection here, so don't expect just this. There's loads more coming as well. And of course, we've got the Arcane Journal for the Beastmen Brayherds. Again, big book full of lore, full of great maps. You like a map, Alex, you really do. We've got historical recreations of Kralmore taking on some Empire of Men troopers, new units, new heroes in there, new magic. You can take a herd stone for your force as well. Look, if you're a Beastman fan, you want to get this book. That's great. Now, Alex, people kind of knew that Wood Elves and Beastmen were on the way because they were the last two forces that were going to happen. But there's one force that people might not be expecting, right?
Oh, yes.
Let's take a look.
What do we got?
Grand Cathay is
Oh,
among
Cathay.
the oldest civilizations in
No
the
way.
world.
This is exciting. The Cathay. We're finally getting them after what? 50 years.
Under the watch of my father, Sen Yang, the Celestial Dragon Emperor, Grand Cathay stands as a bulwark of harmony against the forces of darkness.
Well, these guys look fucking cool.
Now, as the hordes of chaos threaten to breach our sacred battlements, this haven of order prepares for war. Upon the walls of the Great Bastion,
Are they gonna get those big
are
stone
countless soldiers,
stone golems?
ingenious war machines, and other more esoteric defenders who stand ready, determined to hold back the tide.
I'm digging it.
Resolutely, I perform the duty bestowed on me by my divine father centuries ago. Through devout study of the twin powers of yin and yang, I master the elements and summon lightning from the heavens, striking our foes and inspiring all those who fight beneath my banner. I am the master of the storm winds and the supreme matriarch of Nangao. I am Miao Ying. I am the storm dragon. This is Grand Cathay,
Cool.
our eternal empire.
Oh. Oh, these are so cool. What is that? Oh, I love the dragons.
That is
Holy
amazing. I
shit.
have genuine goosebumps
Wow.
after watching it.
Holy.
What a video.
Hold on.
What a
Hold on.
range. Let's talk about it. So, Grand Cathay is here, marching into the old world. Alex, who are the Grand Cathay?
So Grand Cathay is one of the
Yeah, look, they got big golems.
World of legend. They've stood as sort
Like out of, Warhammer Total War.
The evils of the world. It's a land of cities, farms, great mountains, and it's had a sort of
The hot air balloons, man. Those are awesome.
stability and harmony. The nations tend to be in a level of turmoil.
Those are
Little
awesome.
Dragons, namely the celestial dragon emperor himself. And as you can imagine, having an immortal leader lends a bit of stability there.
That's such a what a great sort of idea and concept for a force, and it's a very different army to anything else you might see in Warhammer: The Old World. They are an elite army, heavily armed and heavily armored. Even the
Yeah,
basic
these guys
are
look
super
awesome.
elite.
I really like the dragons they did for
War
them.
engines, terrifying monsters. And we're going to go through a few of them now because the battalion box set, which we see here,
Oh,
what a great scope of miniatures we've got in front of us. And first and foremost, let's talk about the infantry. Alex, the Jade Warriors, who are they?
So the Jade Warriors are the well-equipped sort of core of a city's army. So they're known as the Jade Warriors because that stone is sort of sacred to the Dragon Emperor, and it's said to represent sort of the implacable nature of the Empire. They have pole arms, heavy armor, shield.
They look awesome.
In the attack, but defense is where their strength truly lies.
These are, you're absolutely right, and that's reflected in the rules as well. These guys have the rule defensive stance, where if they remain stationary, they can re-roll ones in the combat phase on their saves, which is cool. Really cool thing to point out in this box set as well is that while you can build every single model with lots of different variation, one of the great varieties in the Jade Warriors that is every model you can choose a male or a female head as well. So you can have all your Jade Warriors can be female or male, up to you, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, I like having my choice ahead.
Maybe the anvil of the army is the Jade Warriors, but let's talk about the Jade Lancers, the cavalry. These guys are special.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
Jade Warriors of the Shield. These guys
like the
are
champion's headdress on his horsey.
They've been forged in battle and drawn from the most disciplined and skilled soldiers of the great cities. I mean, the wealthier cities can raise, multiple regiments of these guys, but most can, manage at least one. On the battlefield, basically, they are able to charge and annihilate the enemy. They specialize in sort of getting through the narrow passages and alleyways of the cities to counterattack.
They're absolutely devastating cavalry, Alex. On the charge, these guys can fight in an extra rank with their Cathayan lancers, so that makes them super hitty. And also, the Cathayan cataphracts rule lets this unit follow up from combat and counters charging next turn, so they're going to go straight.
Those are cool.
They are absolutely devastating. But if you don't want to get too close to your opponent like the Jade Lancers do, maybe you want to fancy taking some of these artillery pieces as well. Check these out. What we got?
So all along
Love
the
it.
bastion, you've got rocket launchers and cannons of all sizes.
Guy's got a big old pipe in his mouth.
The fire rain rocket battery might be a little bit inaccurate, but they're incredibly deadly, launching explosives great distances. So
These are so cool.
Fire rain rocket battery is a portable version of the war machine. It's crewed by disciples of the House of Smoke and Powder who specialize in the manufacturing of gunpowder. You'll notice gunpowder features very heavily with Grand Cathay. So many cannon also exist, but the foremost is the Cathayan Great Cannon. Many of these are forged in Nangao, and they've got that wonderful dragon head shaped on the front. And one of my favorite things about this kit is that.
How come they're always making the poor old guy pull the carts around?
It is actually an upgrade for the artillery piece in terms of the rules.
This poor old man got to cart this shit around.
Artillery piece with gunpowder bombs. He can help the cannon move faster by lugging it along, and also it can allow it to shoot twice, once per game in one phase, which is pretty impressive if you load it super fast. The ground cannon you see here does such devastating damage. It has thunderous impact on its shots, slowing down enemy units nearby where the shot landed. And the firing rocket battery can choose a multiple different types of ammunition, depending on whether it's going for big targets or for big units. It can do what it wants. My favorite detail,
so cool.
I'll point out on this picture. Check out the guy at the back with the sort of the bamboo rocket who's smoking a pipe right next to the rocket.
That's brave.
What a hero! What a hero! Love this stuff. But that's the models that we've seen in the battalion. We've also got some other stuff as well. This is the Sky Lantern. Tell me about this.
These are cool.
Beautiful centerpiece miniature. It's an intricately decorated construction of paper and silk and held aloft by a caged.
Oh, man.
Bird, which basically has burning wings and forces all that hot air up into it to give it lift. The crew then sit in an armoured gondola and they're able to direct it using those sails on the side. It's a wonder of Cathayan ingenuity. If you had the Derby up on one side and Grand Cathay on the other, you'd be hard-pressed to see who's the best engineers. Now, you can see in that gondola, you've got a Lord Magistrate or Strategist, and these are the commanders of cities and the institutions.
These guys are freaking cool, man.
And they can guide from the Sky Lantern using...
Am I going to get them? No.
It's great. The magistrate you see there is
But
a hero
they are
with
freaking
all
cool
the
looking
tools.
models.
You can choose to mount him in a Sky Lantern if you want to. He can be on foot if you want to as well. Or you can take your Sky Lantern without one of those inside if you want to as well. It's a huge, rare, heavy chariot basically on a new base size, which is quite cool. And you can equip the gunners on board with an array of gunpowder weapons and bombs, including the actual lantern itself has those huge Sky Lantern bombs underneath it, which are absolutely devastating. One of my favorite rules
Something like this could never have come out 30 years ago. Could you imagine if they tried to make this in like a friggin' pewter or even a resin?
Directing the artillery fire for the
The model would just be way too heavy.
Fantastic. So,
Way too
One
heavy.
thing to note on this as well is the transfers.
Yes.
You'll have seen on all the banners these wonderful, intricate symbols, and as well.
I dig it, man.
Those are all transfers.
absolutely good. You don't have to be a level 4 brush sorcerer to complete that. So there we go. Fantastic news for the Cathayan players. That's not the only centerpiece model we've got. Of course, up next we've got the Cathayan Sentinels.
Yeah, these guys are
Look at
cool.
the size of this thing, Alex. Tell me more.
These are great animated statues, and if legend is to be believed, they were all built by the Dragon Emperor himself many thousands of years ago to combat chaos. Now, the terracotta sentinels are crafted from magically charged red earth, and they tend to be found along the Great Bastion.
I mean, a lot of newbie painters out there
Sentinels can be found
like
across ground
have to be gravitating towards something like this, right? Because like, man, you barely have to paint this.
The Mountain of Morn, obsidian sentinels defend the border against the blood naga.
I'm sure you can paint up to whatever level you like, but nobody would bat an eye if you showed up and it was just primer with like a light dry brush on it.
Which one to go for and how you paint your miniature. They actually get different rules in the game as well. So the terracotta sentinel can regenerate, while the granite sentinel might have a better armor save, and the warpstone sentinel is going to sort of really badly affect the nearby enemy troops, decreasing their toughness, which is really horrible. These things are huge, rare behemoths, and they are just great fun. You definitely want to have one in your force. But let's have a look at another centerpiece model here, the Shigengan Lord on the Great Spirit Longmar.
Oh,
These
man.
tend to be the descendants of the celestial dragon, or dragon-blooded. They're natural sorcerers. They're just as skilled at wielding the elemental winds as they are with a blade. They're gifted with weapons and armor from the forges of Wei Jin, and they fight from the front. These guys are no slouches in combat.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
And
these things are beautiful.
Models can either be a hero or a lord.
Beautiful.
Depending on which one you go for.
Look
You
at
can be a
that.
level 1 wizard or a level 2 wizard, and those can all be increased. So you could have a level 4 Shigengan Lord if you wanted to.
Oh, man. And the painting on it is,
sculpted
what's the word for that?
Just a wonderful sort of both warrior
Sublime?
and wizard general to lead your force.
I would say.
Stunning centerpiece model too.
I really dig the color
Other
scheme.
choices for your heroes
I
include
really
Gate
dig
Masters of
the paint job on it.
These are the leaders of
The sculpt is just amazing.
Position through skill and experience, and they must have served for.
These models are
And
amazing.
they're the
Like,
masters of defensive
you
warfare
know,
and discipline.
I
Absolutely right.
feel
That's a
like
hardened veteran
if
unit
these
with your
came out,
forces,
you know,
again,
30,
feeling
40
that
years
there's
ago,
more
they
laws,
probably
and
would have
it's
been,
in the
you know,
box,
kind
and
of
the fighters, it's
borderline
including
cultural
all the ultimate battle
appropriation,
stand bearer,
borderline
tank veteran,
stereotypical, almost
tank bearer,
offensive,
so
right?
you don't have to handpick
Whereas
that
these
yourself.
don't feel like that
These
at
guys are
all.
wonderful leaders to
Like
have on the
these,
force.
obviously you can see the inspiration for the design, but
Alongside this, we are
you
going
know, it's
to
a
the
lot of
Grand
different
Arcane
ideas in there,
Journal
but I
as
think
well.
it handles them really well without being, you know, too stereotype, I think. I don't know. I mean, I can't say for sure, but yeah, I really dig these. These are fantastic looking models.
Until events that we will not mention.
Sid Tyler. Ooh, Dragon Horse. Yeah, I know. That's freaking beautiful looking model. Looks like a terracotta army from China. Yeah, that's what the big soldier is. And yeah, that's this whole army. It's Cathay. It's I mean, Cathay's always been, you know, like a very, you know, East Asian type of vibe, right? Very Chinese, Thai, you know, all that stuff, right?
Vibrant spells, whilst Yin is darker and more dangerous.
All those really old cultures.
You can take for your wizards inside the Arcane Journal as well. This Arcane Journal is a bit unusual. It's not made
Sid,
like the other.
yeah, I was never excited about Cathay like other people, but they look amazing. No, yeah. I mean, like, am I going to get them? No.
Every single model that's coming alongside
but,
have their full
man,
gear,
they're
full
fantastic looking
weapons,
models.
Unique weapons.
I mean, I would not fault anybody for blowing $1,000 on, you know, this first wave of miniatures because they're beautiful looking models.
As well.
Even the foot troops look great.
I've got one more thing to show you from this army. Take a look at this. Oh,
yeah, look at this thing, man.
This is Miao Ying, the commander of the armies of the Great Bastion, ruler of North.
He's a commander.
From a seat of power in Nangao. So for centuries, she's fought against the servants of the dark gods, hobgoblins, barbarians, you name it. She was assigned to her position by the celestial dragon himself, and is often considered the favourite amongst her siblings due to the power.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
I dig it, man.
She's not aware of it. She's forever dealing with the lords of Nangao because even when you are a dragon, politics and scheming never escape.
Now, I'm right thinking Mao Ying's form is as a dragon, and sometimes she can.
Why does it almost feel like Fulgrim?
Into the human form, to I guess less terrify her troops as well.
Is anybody else getting Fulgrim vibes?
I think it's important to say as well, that model we've just seen, the dragon, Mao Ying,
oh, that's
and all
awesome.
the models we've seen in this entire range are all plastic, which is fantastic news. So it's going to be much easier to
man, this is awesome.
Mao Ying is a powerful wizard. She can transform herself from a dragon to a human whenever she wants to. And she's a supreme matriarch of the Nangao, and so she can promote warriors around her to be her celestial dragon guard, making them better in a fight as well.
I can see this model in a lot of future, you know, golden demons and stuff. People painting the hell out of this miniature because this is wonderful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, there we go. That is Grand Cathay coming soon.
Oh,
the old world.
Wow.
Very exciting release. And yeah, you guys weren't sure if we're going to show you everything.
Yeah.
So we go. Exciting stuff. We've got a bit of time now to go over to Question Corner. Ed, what's the chat talking about at the moment?
Well, first off, I would like to shout out a few of the locations people talked about earlier. We've got people from all over the UK, loads of states being listed across the US and Canada, Paris, Australia, Norway, you know, all over the world.
Sid, yeah, I never. Thanks. Oh no, I already read that. If I was going to do the old world, it'd probably be this army since DE are dead, right?
It's plastic.
Yep.
There we go. That's it. If there's other builds coming in the future that we haven't seen, we don't know about at the moment. We don't know. But everything we've just seen is entirely plastic. Multi-part miniatures, loads of different options you can.
That's cool.
So
that's all plastic.
How cool is that, right? That's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Next up, are those terracotta models the biggest models in Old World?
Ooh. Might do, you know.
They might be. The Sky Lantern is huge.
Yeah, the Sky Lantern stands really tall.
Because it's on a brand new base as well, and then on a flying stand, and then that balloon on top of it. So at least height-wise, I think the Sky Lantern.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, this answers my next question, which was: is the Sky Lantern attached to its base purely from the plastic parts? No, it's got the flying stand. Okay, final question then: who are Cathay's biggest rivals in the Old World?
Ooh, they don't have a rival. Arguably, they're amongst the oldest and most powerful kingdoms in the Old World.
But they particularly hate the forces of chaos.
Oh, they absolutely loathe chaos.
Okay, so if you wanted to have if there was a rival, if there was someone that stood up anywhere near to the forces of Cathay, it would be the Warriors of Chaos.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right, cool. Anything else, Ed? Any more in the chat for now?
Lots of questions I think might get answered later on as we go on. Actually.
Fair enough. In that case, we'll move on to the next segment of our show, and it's time to move on from the old world and take a look at what's going on in Kill Team.
Kill Team! Fucking Transformers are down there. Feels more like Necromunda. Holy shit, what are we dealing with here? Oh no. Tyranids.
Here we go. Kill Team Typhon is the next
Tyranids.
coming for Kill Team, and it's extremely exciting. We have got a big box here full of loads of miniatures and the much asked for, much waited for Tyranid specific Kill Team is here in the form of the Raveners. First of all,
this is interesting.
Further, very quickly, Alex, where is Typhon set and who are the combatants?
So we are still on Vulcus. We're in hyperspace. The Great Gun is fired, and when it does fire, the backdraft sort of levels everything around it. One of the things that sometimes happens is that sinkholes open up. And when they do, that allows access below.
What's
the
that
Great
big
Gun.
floaty bug
So
thing?
What happens is the Adeptus Mechanicus send out these teams of sacrificial servitors to go and find some of the archaeological bits that are hidden down
These
there.
Tyranids look freaking cool.
Some Raveners.
Oh dear, you don't want to wake Raveners. That's the worst thing to do. Because in this box we have the new Raveners Kill Team. 5 miniatures in the Ravenous Kill Team. You'll also notice there are some Hormigants in the background here too, but we'll talk about the Hormigants in just a second. But the Ravenous Kill Team is 5 models, and you can make quite different versions here. You could make them onto Ravener Warriors if you wanted to, as you see in 40k, but you can also make a Prime, as much as other things we're going to go over in a second. Alex, Raveners are powerful and terrifying, right?
Indeed, they're powerful, live, driven by an all-consuming hunger. Reports say...
And there aren't plastic Raveners right now for Tyranids, are there?
Through rockcrete armor, flesh, all with the same level of ease, and they can basically hide out for years, if not decades. And that seems to be what's happened here on Vulcus. As you mentioned, these can be built into several different sub-varieties. So you've got the
these guys are cool.
The brood and coordinates the rest of them. The Fell Talon with claws that pump toxins that can then be tracked. The Venom Spitter that, as you can probably guess, spits venom.
Makes sense, yeah.
The Wrecker, which is a heavily muscled...
Oh, yeah, that thing is freaking wild looking. Oh, look at that guy.
The Tremor Scythe. It's got a hypersensory array to detect vibrations and chemical signatures like fear. And as you said, the rest can be warriors.
Now, if you've ever played Space Marine 2, you'll have come across the Raveners in there, and they burrow through the ground, and they're just so difficult to deal with. And that comes through in Kill Team as well. They actually have a rule where you draw a tunnel as the game continues, and your warriors and your Raveners can just pop in or pop out of that tunnel as the game continues, really confusing your foes. If I tell Kill Team players these guys have an APL of 3 apiece, that is super good, and they can all fight twice in an activation, which is terrifying too. Yeah, absolutely monstrous foes. Only I think 5 models is one of the smallest Kill Teams, but they are tough. They are real big and tough. Lots of wounds, lots of APL. Be terrified. Maybe not quite as terrifying, but pretty cool as well. The Battle Clade coming alongside them in the box set. These are an Adeptus Mechanicus Kill Team, and someone in the chat earlier on said, I'd give my soul for an Adeptus Mechanicus Kill Team. We're going to send Slanesh knocking on your door anytime soon. But Alex, tell us about these guys.
So these are led by techno-archaeologists who specialise in hunting down arcana and exotic resources. Alongside them, they've got the Servitor Underseers, that guy that seems to be floating there. Basically, these guys specialise in reprogramming and controlling servitors, translating the mission into complex subroutines suitable for their charges, but they can be a bit enthusiastic about the acquisition of more servitors, so if you do happen to have one of these guys float by, be careful they don't steal them. So alongside them, you've got a whole host of various servitors. You can have guns.
I'm not going to lie, though. Adeptus Mechanicus, they don't really do it for me.
To heal the fleshy parts of servitors.
And they're interesting and all, but I don't know.
From the forge, you know, sometimes needs must.
Needs must, right? Absolutely right. What's quite cool on tabletop, these guys have a rule called the Noospheric Network, where they can transfer power from one server to another. One maybe shuts down and transferring as an APL over to another one, which is really good fun. Different servitors have different rules. We've got the Breacher servitors, you can knock holes through walls, and the gun servitors and combat servitors carry a huge array of exotic weaponry, including a heavy arc rifle, incendiary igniters, and phosphor blasters, which all sound terrifying. Great fun.
This Kill Team, though, is really cool looking.
Those 2 Kill Teams in the box is the Dossier, of course, which is where you would find the full rules for both the kill teams, but also has really loads of extra stuff in there as well. You see all the tokens and things, the cards that come in the box. Inside the dossier, you'll find the Joint Ops and Adversary Ops mission packs in here as well. The Joint Ops is really good fun. That's where the Hormigans and the Rippers that you get in the box that come into play as well, because there is a tree campaign for playing through the narrative of the Tyranid invasion on High Basilicus, and the Hormigans are your NPO, non-player operatives that you get in there with
that's kind of cool.
cards and rules for using those to fight against with your friends, which is quite good fun. But also in the box, people have noticed, we showed off on Warhammer Community a little while ago,
A little bit of terrain.
Infestation terrain kill zone upgrade. Tell me what we've got here.
So you get spore chimneys, capillary towers, gestation sacks, shards, spewer growths, underbrood mounds, capillary roots, spore vents, and brood nests.
Jeez.
There's a lot. Chimneys and vents pump out spores. Capillary towers act as conduits, so when the Hive Fleet arrives, that's where they're basically going to get all the biomatter up from. And gestation sacks, well, you can probably guess.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's such great terrain.
It's a sack for gestating it. Yeah, I get it.
Really adding a lot of flavour to your kill zone.
That's pretty cool.
In standard games, they provide light cover or heavy cover, as you might expect. But actually, in the joint op missions, they're also used as objective markers for you to investigate or destroy, or spawn points for Tyranid reinforcements to come out of.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's just a beautiful set of terrain, and it's really nice to see some sort of classic Tyranid terrain from yesteryear made into a plastic set for your build as well. Tyranid players all over the place, you want to get your claws on these. So there we go. That is Kill Team Typhon coming.
Yeah, I'm sure there's quite a few Tyranid players out there just dying to get their hands on that kit.
On the chat. Ed, anything else we want to fire our way?
Well, obviously, the big one is for both kill teams, are we going to see rules for them in 40k?
So right now, of course, we do have rules for Raveners in the Tyranid.
Ebb and Flow Wrecker is looking much more like Starship Trooper business with the carapace. Yeah.
In their entirety. Well, we're not sure yet, but keep your eyes on Warhammer Community, and there may well be more news coming on those soon. Yeah, watch Warhammer Community for that one, I reckon. Anything else, Ed?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of questions about the Imperial Knights Codex and Chaos Knights Codex. Just keep watching. Obviously, when we get to 40k, we'll cover those. Is this part of a High Fleet Typhon offensive in the lore?
Ooh, so as I mentioned before, basically the Raveners could be deposited on a planet well ahead of the Hive Fleet and can stay there for years, if not decades. So it could be a precursor to an invasion, but it also might have been, a little offshoot. So we don't yet know.
Fingers crossed. It's
Not sure what happened there.
Right, for the sake of the Imperium.
Fingers crossed it is a full invasion.
You stay on your side, sir. Anything else, Ed, that we want to go with?
Yeah, final thing about just, obviously, we've not had Raveners for quite some time. In terms of build options, are we able to see just, a full unit of normal Raveners? Is there an ability to build multiple of each one? Basically, what we're going to do with that kit.
So basically, the kit you can build, you could build all 5 Raveners as a Ravener Warrior, which is the essentially the Ravener you can see in a sort of Ravener squad in a Warhammer 40,000 game. There's also full rules for Ravener Warriors in Kill Team 2, so if you wanted to build 5 Ravener Warriors, you could use that as your kill team, no probs at all. As for the other options, you get enough bits to build 1 of each, so 1 Prime, 1 Wrecker, 1... I forgot the names of the other ones. 1 of each of the other ones you can build there as well, so not multiples of those. All right.
That's everything for now.
Excellent. In that case, it's time to move on now. What we got next?
Indeed, we're heading to the Mortal Realms.
There we go.
Fight action-packed battles in Shaiish, the realm of death, with the new Warhammer Age of Sigmar Spearhead gaming pack, Sand and Bone. Lead your forces to victory in fun, fast-paced games using streamlined rules. Each Spearhead box contains all the miniatures you need to take command of a balanced and thematic army, with rules and updates available to download for free online. Obliterate your foes
That's
from a
cool.
distance, impose a grisly tithe on them, devour them whole through gluttony, or shred them with cold-blooded savagery. The choice is yours with 4 new Spearheads. March forth into the realm of death and prepare for battle with Spearhead, Sand and Bone.
Sand and Bone.
Ooh, very exciting. So this is Spearhead, Sand and Bone. This is basically the new expansion for Spearhead with a whole load of new and exciting additions. You fight in 2 areas of the Realm of Death. Double death!
You love this, don't you?
Yes, so you've got Ossia and Delorum. Basically, you've got 2 sides of that board with a whole new set of scenery. Now, I notice here we've got the Necropolis, Blood, Delusion, Grief and Night, the 5 Mortarchs that we know of, and they basically reflect sites of ancient power, dread temples to those Mortarchs. but they're not set out in the same way that we've seen before.
No, you're right. There's a nice little variation between the Fire and Jade, the previous games as well, to give you really good variation on your games, depending on which realm you fight in. You'll also notice that on this board in front of us, the green one here, you've got one huge objective in the middle with the other 4 smaller ones around it, which makes that central one super important and exciting to play over. And if you look on the top left of the purple board there, that one's only got 4 objectives on it, but 2 of them are super close in the centre of the board, so there's going to be a big old scrap there as well. Both boards really sort of want you to get into the action and fight, which is great fun. You also notice on the screen as well, we've got some new terrain features here as well. This is the new mystical terrain that's being added in, which can either be set up on the board at the start of the game, or maybe brought in through one of the twists in the game as well. We've got the Crypt of Blood, where your fighters can take an unholy draft and try and best their foes at combat, but at what cost? And the Icon of New Lamia, which is the statue there, which you can sort of call upon the veiled promises of the icon, and maybe it'll help you, maybe it won't. Bit of a big risk there, but it's nice to see cool options in here as well as new updated battle tactics and commands and twists and everything to really make you feel like you're playing in the realm of death. So it's a very different experience to Spearhead as it is right now. Great fun, and definitely one to get your hands on. But alongside this box set, we've also got some new spearheads coming as well.
Indeed. So the first one we're going to have a look at is the Ogre Moortribe Scrap Glut. Now, basically, you're going to have your hunter in the center with a bunch of Noblars around, as well as those 8 Iron Guts. Now, they pack an absolute punch, don't they?
They really do. They really do. They're terrifying. Don't get anywhere near them. But yeah, a really hitty spearhead, that one there. We've also got the Seraphon Sunblood Prowlers as well. The Seraphon fans, who are these guys?
Indeed. So these basically have the Hunters of Huanchi. They're able to scoot forward, and then you've got that big Blockosaurus warriors, all led by that Sunblood.
Yeah, terrifying in combat. The Hunters of Huanchi definitely go for nipping around and grabbing your battle tactics. But if you don't fancy being quite so mobile, you could instead go for the Cities of Sigmar Fusel Platoon and just shoot people off the table with all your guns and your crossbows.
Indeed, they're a mobile gunnery brigade, basically with 2 elements. You've got the Wildercore that move up the board, and then you've got those 2 units of Free-Guild Fusiliers that basically form an impenetrable line of pervases.
They're even better. They get better on their saves if they remain stationary, but of course you won't score many battle tactics by doing that. But I'll tell you what, if you want to go for a smaller, more elite force, take a look at the Ossiarch Bone Reapers Mortizan Elite. It's just 9 models, but what 9 models they are.
Oh yeah, when we talk about sort of the Ossiarch, we're usually thinking about rank after rank of formidable troops, but the Mortisans of the Order of Ossifactors will assemble these kind of cohorts when they want to improve their bone-shaping skills in battle. And as you said, it's a highly elite force.
Yeah, there's not a model there that hasn't got at least health 4, and most of them have a 3+ save as well, so these guys are tough. There's not many of them, so good luck trying to score your battle tactics with those guys, because you're going to have to really think about how you do it. As a tactician might have to with the Ossiarch Bone Reapers.
Yes. Now, that's not all there is for the Age of Sigmar. We've got the Scourge of Gairan. Now, this is an exciting seasonal event building up to the launch of the General's Handbook in summer. Now, on the run-up to that release, there's going to be daily articles on Warhammer Community,
Scourge of Gairan,
in video form, along with new rules updates. These could be regiments of renown, battle formations.
It's just fun to say.
But every faction is getting at least one draw card for an existing unit.
That's right, and they're going to be match play legal from the release of the new General's Handbook, which is going to be the climax of the Scourge of Gairan season. We see that new General's Handbook arrive at that time of year. Here it is, and the difference here with the General's Handbook this time round is, rather than just being a book, it's actually a complete box inside which is your 72-page book. You've got your battle plan and battle tactics cards. There's manifestation and war scroll cards as well. We've got the 6 objective markers in there too. It's a complete product for the Warhammer Age of Sigmar General, which you want to get your hands on. Tell me where we are for this season.
So this is War in the Jade Realm. Gairan is sometimes considered sort of a place of abundance, with Hammerhall Gaira being the breadbasket of Sigmar's domain. However, the realm of life is rife with disease, nightmares, mercurial forest spirits, monstrous insects, rapidly changing seasons. Nowhere is safe.
That sounds awful. Sounds like a perfect place to have your battles of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Now, in terms of how the rules are going to change for this season, well, we're not going to tell you too much right now. In fact, we're going to ask you to just go back to the Warhammer Community website. In the future, there'll be some hints here and there and some build-up over the Scourge of Gairan to find out what's in the General's Handbook.
We'd love to tell you, but we're not.
As well. With that done, it's time to take a few more questions from the chat. Ed, what are folks saying out there in the world of Chatland?
Okay, I've combined a couple into one here, which is Fire and Jade still going to be supported, and will old Spearhead boxes still be allowed to play in the new Spearhead rules?
100% yes to both. So Fire and Jade is absolutely going to still be available. You can download the rules for free on Warhammer Community already. You can get the rules in the Ultimate Starter Set as well for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Will your old Spearhead still be usable? Yep, absolutely no problem at all. It's an expansion to the game. It's not a replacement, so you can use whatever you like to in the game. So just there's more ways to play Spearhead, which is great fun for all.
We've got another great question. One of our viewers has noticed that the Seraphon are led by a unit rather than a single character. How does that work?
Indeed, do you want to take this one again?
Yeah, okay, so, yes, you're right. Some of the we've seen some of the spearheads being led by units. We saw it first with the Gloomspike Gits. We're being led by that Snarl boss on his Snarl Fang. We've also now got the Sunblood pack leading the Seraphon, and the Man Trappers leading the Ogres as well. Some of them work in a different way. So the Ogres sort of is a hunter with a few tokens around him, with the little models representing tokens and things to put down. Whereas the Sunblood pack, the Saurus, are actually 3 different models. Now, they actually only have 3 health apiece, so together they make up a 9 health unit, but they're still pretty tough. Yeah, that's how they work. It's actually really nice to see. I'm a big Warhammer Underworlds fan, and it's really nice to see some of the Warhammer Underworlds warbands being brought out and used in Warhammer Age of Sigmar in different ways as well. So it's just really positive. Cool. Okay. Anything else?
We've got a lot of 40k questions still coming through.
Oh, well,
into the next section.
maybe we'll go on to some 4K later on. But before we do, there's more stuff coming in the future for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. So let's take a look ahead at what's coming in the future.
So, coming now, we've got the Soulblight Gravelords, followed on by that Spearhead expansion, Sand and Bone, and then the General's Handbook.
Taking a look a bit further forwards into the future, we have the Ideneth Deepkin and Nighthaunt are going to be up very soon with the Blades of Khorne and the Kaldron Overlords floating.
I wonder if I get any new units for the Deepkin. That'd be cool.
Further into the future, ooh, I wonder what that could be.
That could be one of. I got at least 3 things in my mind, but I tell you what, guys, if you're out there, if you've got an idea of what that could be, let us know in the chat. And
The Dragon Wing.
We'll see what you think. That's a good one, actually. That could be. I've got at least 2 in my mind. It could definitely be. Right, with that done, it's time to take a move forward into the 41st millennium. And boy, have we got a lot of things to show you.
Holy moly.
Let's start off then with the chapter approved deck. It's that season. We've seen the General's Handbook already. It's time for the chapter approved deck 2025 to 2026. Now, this season, we're going to see this new deck, which functionally works the same as the current chapter approved deck, but with updates to missions, objectives, and formatting. So, going to be really good for players to get hold of. Crucially here, it actually includes missions specifically written for incursion games, which are 1,000-point games with unique deployment and updated muster rules for smaller games. For example, it's a rule of 2 for 1,000-point games with up to 4 battle lines instead. That's going to be quite fun. You can also see on the screen something called Asymmetric War as well, another new format which we've introduced for the chapter approved deck, where attacker and defender have different deployment zones and different aims within the game. So it's a much more unpredictable experience, and it's designed for 2,000 points and above.
That sounds fun.
Secret missions this time round. We've got challenger cards in the chapter approved deck. A challenger is a player trading by at least 6 victory points who can choose a challenger card or draw one. And these new cards provide a stratagem and a mission. Players can choose to complete the mission or use the stratagem, but not both. So similar mechanic to Spearhead if you guys have ever played that before. So nice little way of getting that player back into the game. And crucially here, this deck is designed to have lots of different ways to play 140,000 match play, to give you real replayability in your games and to make your games much more exciting and fun when you play them. So there's lots of you don't keep having repeat missions, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
So there we go, that's the chapter approved deck.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Make sure you get your hands on one of those when it drops.
However, that's not all that's coming from Warhammer 40,000.
There's so much coming.
We've also got the World Eaters.
Here we go.
So they're coming with the Gorestorm Slaughter Pack Battle Force, including a whole host of 8-bound Jackals, as well as the Slaughterbound, that brand new hero. So this guy, where 8-bound has sort of 8 demons trapped within him, is basically taken on a bloodthirster that's given him exceptional strength. Along with them, they've got their brand new codex. And within that,
cool.
there's obviously going to be all of your rules and background for the 12th Legion, the Scalathrax, all the warbands and characters, as well as the Red Angel's Gate, where Angron first manifested on Armageddon.
You're absolutely right. We've got a Slaughterbound. This is the new hero who's going to be coming into play for the World Eaters.
Yeah, he's
A
cool.
monstrous hero who can lead 8-bound or exalted 8-bound into battle and is so angry, Alex, that he rages at them and returns slain models to life, which is
So angry he
terrifying.
can't
So-
Absolutely right. The Codex is coming as well, of course, including 5 new detachments. You can include Cornate demons in your army, much like the Emperor's Children could include Slaneshi demons in the army. And one of the detachments
cool.
is the
He's
Corn
definitely
King,
cool looking.
where you can use an enhancement to have a Lord on a Juggernaut leading Blood Crushers and Flesh Hounds as a unit, which is just great fun. And there we go. Do you know what? Talking of Cornate demons. Well, we've got a little something to say, and it's over to Ed in Apology Corner.
Yeah, so Karanak should be in the Codex Demons Index. He's not, and we know that everyone wants it, so have no fear. He will be back when the World Eaters Codex comes out. Be both in that and also in an updated index at the same time.
There we go. Good news for all you Corn Demon fans. Our apologies, guys. We're going to fix that mistake when that book drops. So thanks for that patience on that one. But right, keeping on the Chaos theme, what else is coming?
Indeed, we're going to see the Death Guard. So the Death Guard, likewise, have the Pox-wrought Vector Battle Force with a Fetid Blight Drone, Lord of Poxes, Plague Burst Crawler, Blight Lord Terminators, Plague Marines, a whole host of disease-ridden bodies, along with the Lord of Poxes. So these are the masters of airborne contagion, constantly pumping out a foul, fetid smog with that miasmic turbine on his back.
That's cool.
Screen their advance and as a weapon.
Yeah, it's horrible, that thing on his back as well. He basically doesn't let enemies too far away from him.
Yeah, it's a cool looking
That
model.
gigantic sword on his back is a great plague blade. And let me tell you, when I say it's one of the most powerful combat weapons in 40k, it's great. Again, the Codex includes lots of detachments. You can have
Yeah, I dig
in the
it.
book. 6
That's cool.
detachments in there, including one that's very demons heavy, and one that lets you have an unending horde of poxwalkers, just as you'd hope to see. It's cool. And you know what? Let's round off the unholy triumvirate of chaos. We've got the Thousand Sons.
Yes.
Oh.
We've also got the Warp Flame Thrallband Battle Force with a bunch of sorcerers, Scarab Occult Terminators, Rubric Marines, and you can see there at the front those Sector robots. So these are mechanical constructs with features of ancient prospering spirits or tutelary demonic servants.
That's cool.
Saturated in sorcerous power with runes of misdirection.
That's cool.
One of their key features are their psychically controlled bodyguards. They are threaded through with spells of prophecy, so they can essentially see attacks on their master, able to...
Those are
no
cool.
matter the way.
They're actually also able to foresee where the enemy's going to be as well, which allows this unit to use the Overwatch stratagem for free, which is terrifying, especially when they be armed heavy warp flamers, as well as missile racks and multi-guns.
I'm sure many Thousand Sun players are rejoicing at this one.
In the Thousand Sun
Holy.
lets you take loads of vehicles. You can have a royal heavy force if you want to.
Oh yeah, this Thousand Suns,
Because
man.
each demons are in the codex as well.
Watching on the big
There's
screen
steps in these
upstairs.
books at this point. And in the Crusade section, you can plot and scheme with the great cult in Crusade as well. And talking of the codexes,
Track of what I'm doing.
we've seen already the Emperor's Children having that
Horn
absolutely
Berserker stuff,
beautiful
that character.
limited edition
Thing.
codex.
Yeah.
And you know what?
These guys
We'll do
look
the
cool,
same
too.
with the 3 others we're releasing as well. Of course, on the screen you can see the World Eaters. We've got the Death Guard and Thousand Suns coming too. These books, Alex, are absolutely incredible, aren't they?
Oh yes, they're absolutely chocked full of tiny little bits of memorabilia.
Games Workshop's really good at taking money from people. Huh?
However, they look cool on screen,
They really do.
but in person, physically, they're much better.
Right.
And Ed, you've managed to get your hands on them, haven't you?
Well, yeah, I'm gone to AM, the studio.
These are
on my
cool.
side, So I went in and thought I'd nick them. So we've got this beautiful slipcase that comes apart. It's a nice, almost torn cover. Got 3 parts to each book. We've got the codex itself with gilt-edged gold pages. Some really nice artwork in each piece as well. So every book's going to come with 5 pieces of relevant themed artwork for your god. Those are gorgeous. I've had a cheeky look at them myself. And then we obviously have a large slipcase with gilt-edged data cards, stratagems. We've got our metal tokens for objective markers. And finally, we have this really nice solid metal.
So what do you figure? That's
medallion you can make.
damn near 200
All
bucks.
magnetized together to form one.
Oh.
So weighty in hand. I feel like I want to use this as the objective marker.
Oh.
I Can't help feeling that completing the quadrant there.
All 4 of those?
Is going to summon some.
Like I've got power coursing.
Yeah, those are going to be gone.
Adrenaline.
Those are going to be gone for sure.
Those are absolutely stunning.
Those
they're
are
gonna
selling
be
out for sure.
Very limited edition. There are going to be only 1,600 copies of each available when they go on release.
There you go,
if you want
1,600 of them.
or
That's
even
it.
4 of those, make sure you get to one as soon
Good
as
luck,
possible,
people.
because,
Good luck.
They'll be selling the hotcakes.
Holy
So,
shit.
there we go.
They're beautiful, though.
From Chaos Codex is coming very soon.
They're beautiful.
But I've had enough of talking about Chaos Filth. We've got some other cool stuff coming. It's time to go a little bit Imperium as the Grey Knights.
Here we go.
Seeing their
Oh,
update
Grey
in
Knights,
series.
okay.
What have we got here?
Indeed, so this is the Sanctic Conclave Battle Force with the Grandmaster and Nemesis Dread Knight, units of Brotherhood Terminators and Strike Squads. So they're also getting their new codex, chocked full of all the background. The Grey Knights are basically super anti-demonic forces with their armor threaded through with psychoactive circuitry. And the Dread Knights in particular were made to combat the most horrific monsters, namely greater demons. Now this is an update to that Dread Knight kit.
It is indeed. We've had the rules for a Grandmaster in a Dread Knight for a little while, but now we've actually got a full kit to represent the most heroic heroes of the Grey Knights in a Dread Knight ready to fight those greater demons, with weapon upgrades including the Subliminator, the huge Psychic Melter, and a Nemesis Mace, which is what this thing has in common, massive Psychic Blunt Force Trauma, which can destroy enemies. There's
Pepper
also
shaker.
a Nemesis Flail, which is sort of like a Morning Star version as well, which is coming here as well. So we've got new weapons of that guy and a great new addition kit. It's basically like the Nemesis Dread Knight kit with an upgrade sprue in there as well to make it into a Grey Knight Grandmaster, which is just cool. In terms of the codex, Grey Knight players can expect to see rules like Gate of Infinity still there, slightly tweaked. We've got 5 detachments in there covering lots of different army styles, including the Sanctic Spearhead, which covers vehicles and walkers. So you can have an army of Dread Knights and Dreadnoughts if you want to, which is great. And in Crusade, you can stave off Chaos incursions with the aid of vision sent to you by the Prognosticars, which is cool. I like the sound of that.
Now, speaking of Prognosticars,
Yeah.
The Grey Knights have foreseen an invasion of a world that has previously been invaded by the World Eaters.
Of course. This is the new Crusade book, Armageddon. And Armageddon is a war zone that will be familiar to many veteran Warhammer players. Alex, why is Armageddon such a big deal?
Well, it's been the site of many horrific invasions. Now, the world stands directly in the path of one of the Blood
Just a few.
Crusades. It's splintered on all Kill territories in Golgotha. However, they've descended to plague the whole sector. Now, the amount of blood that has been spilt has basically fed the Red Angel's Gate, where Angron first emerged into Armageddon, and as such, the Conqueror has heeded the call and arrived. So the World Eaters have descended to Armageddon itself, but they're faced with regiments of the Death Corps, Logan Grimner's Space Wolves, High Marshal Helbrecht's Black Templars, and the Grey Knights who have foreseen this invasion.
This is so cool. What a great way to kick off a new war zone. And this actual book itself is a Crusade book. And if you've never played Crusade before, it's a wonderful way of linking your games together in a narrative sense, where your forces get enhancements or your units get upgrades as you go along. And it's a really cool way of playing 40k. If you've never played, I seriously recommend. We're playing at the moment, and it's great fun. You can either choose to defend Armageddon, to attack Armageddon, or perhaps be one of the third party there, of just not quite sure which side you're going to represent. Maybe you'll decide later on. And there's a tree campaign inside the book for all those 3 factions as they sort of take the battle to the enemy over the course of Armageddon. It's great. We've got Crusade badges in there. There's a focus on epic heroes, mighty deeds, fighting hellscapes as the barriers between warp and reality just merge. And what's really cool as well is there's rules for unbound demons flocking to your game as sort of non-player characters sort of running in and just taking both sides and just causing complete havoc as there's a demonic incursion on Armageddon, which is just great. So yeah, seriously, Armageddon Crusade coming very soon. Hey, do you know what? Armageddon does sound pretty cool.
Yeah.
It sounds this cool.
Planet Armageddon.
Armageddon.
An imperial linchpin plagued by invasion and constant bloody warfare. Now the Blood God's followers swarm across the planet's ravaged surface. On the brink of annihilation, the world's defenders issue a desperate plea for aid. Will anyone answer their call?
Oh, sweet.
The Adeptus Astartes must halt the demonic tide.
I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty awesome.
That was
How
incredible,
awesome.
and
This
everybody
awesome.
there will have noticed a whole new raft of space wolves.
Oh, they're here. The Space Wolves are here. We've been waiting for them for a long
yes.
time. And it's great to see a fantastic new range of miniatures coming your way for the Space Wolves. Let's take a look because, I mean, look at these.
Yeah, these guys look
It's
great.
just- we've waited, and here they are. This, in particular, what we're seeing right now is the Space Wolves Army launch set coming to you soon. Included in there is the new Wolf Priest, the new Battle Leader, the new Head Takers, the Blood Claws, and the Grey Hunters. We're all getting new miniatures there. We'll talk about all of these. They got the new Codex in there as well. Oh wow! What a force! And let's have a look at some of the models a bit closer, shall we? Starting off with the Wolf Priest. Now,
He looks cool.
my compatriot Simon here tells me that aside from a random Games Day miniature some 20 years ago, this is the first time Games Workshop has done a Wolf Priest miniature, so it's great to see. And I'm right in thinking this is a kind of mix between an apothecary and a chaplain.
Indeed, their duties are to observe the warring tribes of Fenris and to sort of select potential aspirants. They harvest gene seed, they tend to the wounded, but they're also spiritual advisors, preparing their brothers for mental and spiritual trials.
It's really nice. This model's actually got quite a few options here as well. You've got head options, helmeted, bare heads as well. In game, you can restore wounds to units that you've joined, and also add one to melee wound rolls, the Litany of Hates. It's got rules from both the
It's a pretty good
and
pose,
Assassin's
too.
Creed as well, which is just cool. Also,
I
in the
mean, you
box
can
set,
hear
we've
the
got
stomping
another
of his
leader,
feet.
The Wolfguard Battle Leader.
This guy's
Might be
cool.
my favourite model of the box, this one.
Very cool.
It's so cool. Again, lots of options here. Helmeted, bare heads, different weapon options as well. Who are the Wolfguard Battle Leaders?
So these guys are members of the Wolf Guard, and they're deputized into leading warriors on the battlefield. They're essentially the equivalent of a Space Marine lieutenant. They're typically temporary positions, but you know, a war can last years, decades. So temporary is an odd term to use. They've got access to ancient and powerful relics from the Great Company's armory, and when the Wolf Lord falls, it is from amongst these Wolf Guard that his replacement is found. So giving them experience in these leadership
Yeah, that's
roles.
pretty damn cool.
You want these guys leading your units into combat, specifically your Wolfguard Head Takers, your Grey Hunters, or your Blood Claws, which is the next new unit we're going to have a look at here. Look at these. What a great update on an iconic Space Wolf unit. These guys are the sort of the newer Space Wolves. Loads of options all over the kit, including different heads and things as well. They're wearing slightly lighter armor than other Marines as well, so they look like they're a bit newer. That suits their background, right?
Yeah, they're young and impetuous, and they need to prove themselves, temper themselves in battle. Like all chapters, training is harsh and extensive, but battlefield experience is the most valuable. And so the Blood Claws are not.
I kind of dig that one running
positions in the
pose.
vanguard.
That's pretty cool.
I don't think you've ever seen that
Blood Claws
before.
have been in the past. These guys are combat centric, carrying their Astartes chainsword and their bolt pistol. But the big news here is, like all Space Wolves infantry in Tacticus armor, they are movement 7. So they're faster than the Space Marines because they're desperate to get into combat. They're cunning hunters as well, allowing them to reroll 1s to wound. And if the target is in range of an objective, they can reroll all wounds, which is pretty cool. Just like the Grey Hunters, who are the other iconic Space Wolf unit, which we are seeing new models for here as well. Again, all plastic, loads of options for the pack leader, lots of options all over the kit to really personalise your Marines.
Those are cool.
Hunters, as they're more the veteran Marines, aren't they?
Yeah, so they've survived long enough as Blood Claws to become Grey Hunters, and this is when the Canis Helix is really presenting a bit more apparently. So they've got grey hairs, fangs, rougher skin, all of those like canine developments that we love with the Space Wolves. They're really closely bonded units. They work independently or as part of a large force. They're stalwart and reliable and hold that sort of fire akin to the Blood Claws. They're a core part of your Space Wolf force.
Absolutely core. These guys are great at everything. They
Like the
have
mixed
fancy
armor.
chainswords, so they can pack a punch in combat. Each Marine carries a bolt carbine, allowing them to fire up to 3 shots apiece. The pack leader can have a power fist or a power weapon. But the big news here, as well as the fact that they can move 7 inches like the Blood Cores, is that this unit are OC3 apiece, which makes them absolutely perfect for holding and capturing objectives from the enemy. They are absolutely core, and I hate to admit it, but they might be one of the best core battle line units in the Imperial forces. So yeah, get your hands on, or your claws on some of these if you possibly can. Up next, we've got the elites of the force, the head takers, and their hunting wolves.
So head takers tend to be from those wolf guard who still retain some of their youthful recklessness, and they specialise in hunting down enemy champions, beasts, warlords. Those Fenrisian wolves with them are closely bonded to them, and it's so strong that it's almost as if they act as one, like an instinctive coordination.
These are elite infantry, similar to Blade Guard.
That's pretty cool.
Recognised from the Space Marines. They have loads of options. There's 9 interchangeable head options in the kit for your bare helmeted or your bare heads or your helmeted. There's lots of bare heads in the Space Wolf kits, which is great because that really suits them. You can give these guys different weapon options. They can come with a mastercrafted power weapon and shield, or a pair of mastercrafted power weapons for 6 attacks apiece. The head takers and hunting wolves fight as separate units on the battlefield, which is quite interesting. So you can run them around separately. You were talking about sort of going for the big monsters and the champions there. Before the game, you select one enemy unit to be your quarry, and they get devastating wounds and precision when targeting that quarry. And when they've killed it, they just select a new unit and a new quarry, which is terrifying.
That's pretty
Of
cool.
course, inside this box, we're also seeing the Space Wolves Codex supplement as well. Like I said, this is in conjunction with the Space Marines Codex as well, but it contains full background on Space Wolves faction, the colour section with loads of cool shots of the miniatures, army rules, everything you expect from the Codex, of course. There are 3 detachments inside, each with their own theme and their own saga to complete. Complete your saga and get additional rules, which is really cool. And in Crusade, there are new Oathsworn campaigns, expanding on those in Space Marines Codex. So the Space Wolf theme saga to complete, earn deeds of making, exclusive battle traits, scars, agendas, everything else you expect from Crusade as well.
Indeed, my favourite little aspect often of these codex is the little asides, the little addendums that are added to it. And there's a quote from an Inquisitor here that I think really sums them up. They are deviants all, these Space Wolves, uncouth and lacking in honour, informal and without discipline. They respond with contempt to direct orders, scoff at Lord Guilliman's Codex Astartes, and treat the orders of Imperial commanders with contempt. And I think that sums them up perfectly.
Yeah, and an awful lot of Space Wolf players I've met as well, to be fair. You know who you guys are. Well, that's an incredible range of miniatures coming for the Space Wolves. And what's more, that's not all. There's going to be more coming as well. We just haven't shown you everything yet. Expect some more characters, some more elite units coming too. But keep your acute senses fixed on the Warhammer Community website, where you can get to see more of those in the very near future. So that's great news for Space Wolf players. That range refresh we've been looking for, and it's here. Congratulations, guys. But let's have a look now over to Question Corner. Ed, folks have got to be happy about Space Wolves, right, surely?
They are indeed. There's lots of love for Space Wolves. Space Wolf related question though is, do we know if Thunderwolf cavalry are still going to be riding across the battlefield?
So we're not going to answer any questions about that right now, because the Warhammer Community website is going to give you more details about what's going to be included in the Codex coming forward. There's loads of articles coming about that. So just keep your eyes on Warhammer Community for now, and all your questions will be answered right there on the website. And sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, for definite.
Yeah, but a couple of questions that have been asked since actually before the stream started, and
Okay.
carved throughout since
Eager.
the time to come to them. Imperial Knights, obviously on the last roadmap, they appeared as one of the next codexes. Now obviously we've got Chaos sort of coming at a similar time. When can we see Imperial Knights, do we think?
We will answer that momentarily.
Ooh,
Okay, okay.
Oh.
Still to come, essentially. Chaos Knights, do you know if they're ever getting a named character? That's another question that's been asked since the beginning.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be real pedantic here, but in White Dwarf 509, they got 2 named characters in the Combat Patrol. So there we go, that they already exist. As for other named characters in the future, I don't know, to be honest with you. Again, keep your eyes on Warcom. If we haven't talked about it here, we can't mention it yet. Warhammer Community's got all the information you need, guys.
Yeah, so tied into that, again, we've had questions about the release dates, the limited edition codexes. Again, same thing, it'll be announced on Warcom. Another question about them, though, is are they all releasing at the same time, or are they staggered?
Ooh, that's a good question. We know the Army Launch Set's going to be released as itself, but then we'll see other stuff coming out later on as well. Release dates and everything completely up to other people other than us. Again, Warhammer community and the social media channels are the place to look for that. And I know we've got burning questions we want to answer, guys. We can't say everything quite yet, but keep your eyes on Warhammer community. That's the place to look.
I do have a potential lore-based question. Obviously, we're coming back to Armageddon. Wouldn't be Armageddon without Old Man Yarrick. Now, is he still around in the lore?
As we saw from the Astra Militarum Codex a while back, Yarrick is, as far as the Imperium is concerned, deceased. There was a great memorial for him. So, unfortunately, no.
Later, Reb.
Well, at least, it's a pretty hard no. Read the Codex Astra Militarum. It's pretty decisive.
There was a body.
Sorry, guys. He's an old man no longer. But hope that answers that, but maybe not the way you wanted us to, I guess. Anything else, Ed?
Yeah, again, there's just lots of questions about, new minis, what might be coming next. So again, all those will just still be.
Do you know what?
Check out Warcom.
We would love to answer all those questions, guys. Yes. And as hobbyists ourselves, we totally understand, but we can't say everything right now. Just keep your eyes on the Wargaming website and you'll see all that. In fact, should we take a look right now, a little look further ahead at what might be coming next for Warhammer 40,000?
So, coming up first, we've got the Thousand Suns. They're going to be marching in with those new Sector robots. Then we've got the Space Wolves howling in, the World Eaters. Finally, the Death Guard are going to make a slow trudge up the field.
They're coming quite soon as well. It's saying right now on the screen, so they're coming real soon, which is good news for all you Chaos fans.
Oh, yeah, that's now.
Now, what's coming next? We've got the Black Templars, we've got the Grey Knights, the Chaos Knights, and Imperial Knights are stomping over the horizon as we speak.
And then a little bit further on, these are 3 more factions coming. Now,
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure I can guess at least 2 of these.
Yeah, me too, but they are definitely interesting. And in the far, far future, something in a shadowy shape. What could it be? Let us know in the chat what you think that could be, because I've got a couple of theories, certainly.
Iron Giant.
I reckon there's a few theories.
Looks like the Iron Giant.
Me too. So there we go. That's what's coming for the future for Warhammer 40,000. We've got just enough time for a couple more questions. Ed, is there anything else that's burning people want to know?
This is burning.
A lot of questions about Warcry, where we're at with the current edition. Obviously, we've still got a lot of Warcry miniatures out at the moment. Have we got any updates on Warcry?
Nothing to report at the moment. Again, keep your eyes on one. It's going to be the same answer pretty much. Keep your eyes on one community for all updates as that sort of thing. Anything else, Ed, at all?
Yeah, are these Thousand Suns automatons related to Vashtor in any way?
That's a good question.
The dark mechanic.
Ooh, time will tell.
Time will tell. Vashtor, of course, is the dark mechanic of the Chaos Forces, right?
Yes.
Has he perhaps built them, maybe?
Oh,
I don't know.
These are ancient robots,
Oh,
so
okay.
these have been around for a very long time. But that's not to say that Vashtor isn't going to have some sort of hand in anything technological. He's happily shown up at the Pariah Nexus. Obviously, he's got wormwood. It wouldn't surprise me if his claws got all over the place.
There we go. Do you know what? That's been an absolutely brilliant show. We've seen some fantastic releases, some fantastic previews coming up. What we saw the Old World. We saw Kill Team.
Oh, yes. Space Wolves, all those 40k releases, all those Chaos factions.
Yeah, the new spearheads coming for Warhammer Age of Sigmar as well. What's been your favourite of the show so far?
I'm awfully tempted by the Raveners and that Kill Team box, but
cool.
I think it's going to have to be the Grand Cathay and Dragon.
Yeah, beautiful model. And for me, I think I'm a Spearhead fan, so I'm really looking forward to playing Sand.
Yeah, the Cathay stuff is pretty awesome.
I'm going to paint some of those new Space Walls as well. It's going to be good.
Pretty damn
It's
awesome.
been an absolute blast. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us here on the preview show. Just a quick one. If you want to see any more pictures and information about what we've shown here today, make sure you're going over to the Warhammer Community website where you can have a look at some more pictures and check out more information. And also sign up to the newsletter there as well, which is where you'll get all the first information. You can sign up to our social media, which is again where you'll see loads of pictures. You can see on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X. Sign up there and get all the information straight to you. And also, this weekend at Adepticon, we have other streams coming right here on Twitch as well. So if you want to see the Warhammer 40,000 Championship or the Warhammer 40,000 Team Tournaments, they're all being streamed over the next 4 days up until Sunday. So do check them out right here on Twitch. Thanks to everyone involved behind the scenes, behind the camera. Those of you in the chat, not Lee, you absolute legend. Thank you so much indeed. Alex, Ed, it's been a real pleasure. I think that's it, guys. I think we're signing out.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining us, guys. And we'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Goodbye.
There it is. There you go. There it is. There you go. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I'm kidding. You can stay here. Well, that was pretty interesting. I mean, you know, it's all right, right? Okay. There we go. All right. So, yeah, it was pretty good. Cathay, I think that's pretty darn awesome. You know, I'm not sure why it's taken so long for that faction to come out for, you know, Warhammer Fantasy, but you know, I think they look really cool. Anybody who's familiar with Warhammer Total War, you already kind of get a sense of what Cathay is going to look like on the tabletop from that. So, and it feels pretty close to what you see in that. So, I'm wondering though if like the video games and stuff, you know, design ideas and stuff like that are carry over from one to the other, or does it always come right from Games Workshop? Like, you know, design choices and stuff, is it always, you know, from Games Workshop, or does this game studio have some say in, you know, how things look? And, you know, I don't know. That's I guess some fly on the wall type stuff, right? So something like that, right? So anyway, I don't know. Thought it was interesting, you know. But with the Cathay, and then of course you had the kill team, the Tyranids. Tyranid kill team, I think is pretty darn cool. And the sculpts for them, I like how you can do them in various modes. Like the one that kind of has like the brain on the back, and the other one that has like the armor and stuff. I don't remember what the names are. They said it, but I don't remember what it was. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, you know, as an Eldar player, there wasn't really anything for me, but I mean, you know, just got out of the second wave of Eldar releases, so you know. Aussie, yeah, I like the Jade Lancers, pretty cool, and the wolves. Yes, the Space Wolves, very, very cool. I think that's a really great addition, and I like too that even the blood claws, the running poses of them, I thought that's really cool. You never see like Space Marines in like a full like jog, run, sprint. Yeah, the full sprint. That's what it is. Sorry, man. My my brownie's kicking in, and so kind of in and out here in my thoughts, not consciousness. But anyway, yeah. So very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. Space Wolves, very cool. And you know, with Space Wolves getting an update, right, as the draws closer, maybe we see another Space Wolf, you know, maybe Terminator units. Long Fangs, we haven't seen Long Fangs. You know, what else is there? Oh, and then you got a couple of the characters as well. Get a new Ragnar Blackmane. That'd be cool, right? All Primaris up and everything. That'd be cool. Aussie, hope WH send you some to paint. Oh, and I'm not part of that. I haven't been part of that program in a while. As you may or may not notice, there hasn't been a lot of videos produced on my channel. No, it just got to be just too much. It wasn't a bad preview though. I enjoyed it. I liked it. And yeah. Have anything more to say on the subject? End the video here, and I want to thank you guys for you know, joining me on this preview show. Pretty cool. I mean, you know, Chaos, 1,000 Suns of Robot Tutors. Those things are friggin' cool. was a really cool. Anyway, I just remembered. Oh yeah, they had that. And then Cathay get the big balloons or the lanterns. That's awesome. It's awesome. Oh, what a time to be alive and a Warhammer fan, eh? All right, I'm going to bed. Oh man, Warhammer keeping me up at night.